Hello car users, welcome to the tutorial on how you download version 3.5 of the CARS program. So to start off, what you need to actually prepare for at this point is to have high-speed internet access. So do not go and download from a slow internet location because it would take you a long time to download. And there's a number of things that you do need. For example, you do need a browser, preferably Google Chrome. If you don't know how to download one, just ask somebody that knows about computers and have them download this. But other browsers could be done as well. The second thing you do need is to have enough storage space on your computer to download 1.3 gigabytes of space. And the third thing to do is to install it and then to fine tune it and put in the old password that you have from previous edition 3.3. If you are ready, let's get going. So the first thing I'm going to do is to start off with the internet browser, and what I'm going to do at this time is I'm going to go and into my email, and in my email address I actually happen to have this email that's sent to everybody that has the announcement of the new CARS program. And what I'm going to do is just go in here and click on CARS v3.3 PowerPoint file setup. What I'm going to do is click on that, and you will see that there will be a CARS 3.5 PowerPoint file setup. What I need to do is when I see the screen here, it's to click on the download button here. Once I click on that, a new page will show up, and what I need to do is continue, and it is normal for it to say that it can't scan for viruses because it's just too big in size. So therefore just go and proceed anyway. So there's no viruses in here, you don't have to worry about that. So once I click download anyway, I would then have this file starting to download. So it could take some time. It could range from 20 minutes to as much as an hour or even more. It depends on the speed of the internet. So I'm actually going to pause it, assumingly that you actually have gone all the way to completing it, but for our purpose I'm just going to show you how it's done here. So assuming that you have done the downloading procedure, you go to show in folder. So I just click on the arrow here, show in folder, and I would actually have a whole bunch of files that's over here in the download folder. What you want to look for is a file called CARS v3.5 PowerPoint file setup, which is the exact same name as what you pressed earlier. Now the other way to get around this is that you could go to any file browser and click on quick access. Under that there's the downloads folder. That's where it's going to be stored. Again, this is the one that you would want. Now, before installing, I would strongly advise you to disable the antivirus program that you may have. So in my case, I'm using Avast, and I would strongly suggest car users to use Avast. It's a free software to protect your computer from viruses, and I would just go and disable that for 1 hour in this case, just so that there's more than enough time available. What I would then do is double click on this here, and once I double click, it could take up to a minute to load. It does depend on your computer processing speed. You can read through this information here. It's just a few minor changes as to how you actually get the program to work. If you're going from version 2 to version 3, then there is a totally different password. And from now on, we do support every car users with TeamViewer over the internet, where it could actually access your computer and show you exactly how it's done and troubleshoot if needed. So that's more or less what this is saying. You can always contact me through the email or phone number that's here, or Jim in this case. So I can go next, and the default folder where it's going to be all stored is the C drive CARS folder, which I'll show you after the installation as to where it is. And I would go next. It would be normal for you to have all the files extracted to that folder right now, but what's going to happen is that some of you that's already installed with CARS v3.3 or 3.1 version, you may already have the destination folder already containing some of the older files. So what I need to do is here, it is okay to go and do this for all conflicts. Yes, overwrite it. So that means whatever old files that was there in the existing file, you would just overwrite that. Or if you want to skip it, you could do that as well, but I'm just going to overwrite it. All right, and it would then install all the CARS v3.5 number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and all that once it's done, you have this dialog box that will show up that's thanking you for using the CARS program, and it's going to just show you how to copy and paste. But I'm going to do it right here. So I just go close, and it's now going to ask me to install VLC Media Player. So if I do already have it, I could click on no. If I'm actually going fresh, then go yes. So in this case, I'm going to show you how it's done with the fresh install first. I would go yes, and as soon as I'm done with this, a setup would actually pop up. It could be hidden down here where that pylon icon is in orange, and I would then left click on that, go next, and since I'm actually just upgrading or I'm just installing fresh, it wouldn't matter. I just go to first option, next. By default, leave everything as it is, and once you are done, you can actually run the VLC Media Player, but I'm not going to do it right now. I'll do it a little bit later in a different tutorial. So I'm going to go finish. And once I have all this here done, I have now completed all my downloads for the CARS 3.5 update. Now, if you do not have the videos working properly, then I'm going to show you how that is going to be done later on. So here we have the folder as to where we actually stored everything. It's in your computer. So if you don't see it, it could be under this PC. You have the arrow to the left. You click on that. You go down to where it says C drive. That's where you want to go. Then you go into double click on the CARS folder. So there's going to be a whole bunch of videos like this, video folders like this here from 1 to 8. That's normal. And when you go in here, you could also see that, hey, there's the CARS v3.5 number 1 to number 8. And there's also the addition of the games PowerPoint that's added to this current edition. You can also notice there's a couple other files that's in here that you would also see that's added, such as the TeamViewer QS for quick support. That is when you need me to access your computer to help you with tech support. There's also the important notes that's here. You can actually read that if you wish. It just tells you as to what you do to get support and all that, but you have to have internet access. The other file that's here is the Highway Traffic Act. That's from March 27, 2017. Now, of course, as we continue updating, there will be a new edition every time with the new installment. And one of the first things I should now do is to go into this program and just select any of these orange icons that's here that's labeled CARS Ed v3.5. I'm going to click on number 1 in this case. So as I do this, I will then have myself go and agree and click on yes if it asks for user account control. And if you notice, I do have a password installed. So if I don't have a password installed, it would look like this here. You need to email me this here by highlighting the entire machine ID. Go to copy, right click, copy, and go to the email that you would send me. So let's assume that you're going to send me an email. It should look like something like this. So it would be out to me, Sam C, or James Mitchell. So we'll both have the computers, and it'll be whatever title that you want to put. For the subject, it would be, hi there, whoever you are from whatever driving school. It is best to leave your phone number or official school name as to who you are, so we could identify who's actually getting the request. And you would then paste by right-clicking, paste. All right. Once I paste this here, once I paste this here in my email, I would then be able to have myself the machine ID that's sent off to me. So let's just press send, and I will then reply back with the password at my convenience. All right. Once that is achieved, you would actually get a reply back with a password that's something like this. It's a long line of characters like this here. I just happen to have myself putting it in here. I copy. So I go right click, copy. I come into the email, and then I copy that. I go into the dialog box where I wanted to enter the password. I go right click, paste. Now for a shortcut to copy and paste, I could highlight Control C. That would work. To paste, I could go Control V. All right, that's the same thing. And once I have that done, I would then go open. Now if I click on open, it would open up within about 20 seconds. It does, of course, depend on your computer speed, but what you should do is immediately after it loads, you should see that there's the Cars logo in the background. You would see that it's version 3.5. If this starts up, it means everything is working properly with sound and all that. Now, if it does not load up, it could possibly be one important reason, and that's because you don't have Microsoft Office, and you do have to have Microsoft Office 2007, 2010, 2013, or 2016 installed on your computer. If you do not have that, you will not have this program run properly. And also, this program is incompatible with Microsoft PowerPoint Viewer. It has to be the full version. So that is your responsibility to get that done. And I'm going to end this show right now and then continue with the rest of the tutorial. So the next thing what I'm going to do is to go back to the Cars folder, all right, which is in C drive, Cars folder, and I would then have myself take a look at the Team Viewer function. The Team Viewer function is simply double clicking on that and click on Yes for user account control. You would then have yourself get the Team Viewer Quick Support dialog box, and what I need you to do is either email, text, or call me up and say, hey, this is my ID. So your ID, I need that, and then the password would actually be required for me to access your computer. And this is a one-time password, so it would actually continuously update. So if I click on the create new random password, it would actually change again. So don't worry, I won't be able to access your computer afterwards. So if you do need me to support you, make sure you get this information to me. All right, I'm now going to close it. The other program that I'm also going to help everybody understand is Zoom It. Now with Zoom It, you simply double click that, and you may not see anything pop up right now, but I'm going to go over here. If you notice this little magnifying glass, I'm going to double click on that. This is the actual software that allows you to zoom on any page or any location you want. You could also draw on this. If you happen to want a break, you could also have yourself take a break. So let's start off with the zoom function. Control 1, which is on your keyboard to the left of the Windows key. If you press Control 1 at any given time, all right, you will be able to go and start zooming in. So let me just show you what I mean. So zooming in is Control 1. It allows me to go anywhere on the screen that I couldn't see. I could use the scroll on the mouse to zoom in and zoom out as needed. When I'm done, Control 1, and I go back to normal view. So let's double click on this again, and that's Control 1. Now the second function is to simply draw. So if you notice here, it's Control 2. And when I actually go to Control 2, you will notice that there's this little cross in red usually, but you can actually change the color. So I could actually go and, let's say, highlight something. I can use a mouse and highlight it. All right. Now, if you do have a computer that has the touch screen function, notice what I'm actually doing with my screen right now. I'm actually writing on the screen and writing my own name on there, and I could actually do a lot more custom, like perfection writing on the screen as I need it. Now, if I'm done, I could go Control 1 to clear. All right. So again, Control 2 is to write. You could actually see this, but I could also do it in different colors. So now that I'm actually in red, I want to go to green. Control G for girl, green. I could now do green. I could go Control blue. When I'm actually in the draw function, that would be blue. Control Y, sorry, is for yellow. And if I want to go to red, I could go Control R, and that's red. Okay, so that would be the other function you could actually use. Now I'm going to clear this again with Control 1, and I'm going to go back to Control 2, the drawing mode. But if I want to type some text on here, let's say I wanted to write my name over here in text, I could actually have myself in this mode, press Control T, and if you notice, I have this line. I just have to click anywhere on the screen, and I would then be able to start typing my name as needed. And it could be helpful if you're actually wanting students to actually fill in the date of the course, the the session, etc. All right, all that could be done. And when you're done, just go Control 1 again, and that clears everything. All right, so far that's Control 1, Control 2 that we've looked at. Control 3 is another function that you might make use of if you wanted to have a break. So if you notice, I have a 30-minute countdown right now, and what that does, it actually allows students to remember, hey, you are going for lunch, let's say for half an hour. This is the timer that would keep you more on track. So that's Control 3. Now this could be changed if you wanted to change the time. Let's double click on the zoom in function here and go to options, or just go double click that, and where it says break, I could change this to whatever I like. I could make it 15 minutes, I can make it 10 minutes. It really depends on how much time that you are giving the students for break. So 30 minutes is what I'm using right now, because that's how I actually have it set up for the classes that I go and teach. All right, so that would be the zoom in function. So if I actually go into the actual program, let's say control I'm sorry. If I go into the cars program, I could go in and load any session. Now that it actually loads up, I could also make sure that I have this function checked. Runs zoom it when Windows starts. That means every time I actually have the computer start on me, I don't have to worry about the zoom in function. It automatically by default loads. All right, so if I'm actually in this mode and I can actually go into, let's say, this slide here, if I can't see the text up here, I could go Control 1 and zoom in and say, hey, yeah, okay, that's a lot better. Okay, that's where YouTube videos are from. Okay, good. Now I want to draw on this. Control 2, I could actually draw on this person's hand if I like to. All right, Control 3, let's have our clear it first, Control 1, and then have our 30-minute break, whatever. All right, Control 1 to clear as well. Always Control 1 to clear. And the zoom in function could actually be accessed from here as well. There's videos you could actually click on. Whenever there's a triangle, that's a video that you could actually go and click. It does require your permission. Just go OK, and it would actually start showing the video.
Watch where you're going, God damn it!
And I'm going to show you the settings in a moment as to how this works. Okay, so I'm going to exit this program again. Now inside the cars folder, you should always have 8 folders. Now it may not look exactly like mine, but I'll show you what it should look like. So let's say day 1 videos. I go in there, there should be a whole bunch of videos that would be here for you to go and play as part of the cars program. That's where the PowerPoint is looking for the videos. So if you don't have any of this, it simply means that you did not install the cars v3.5 videos file setup. So you need to install all this here in order to play all the videos. Okay, so that's always something that you keep in mind. The next thing to do is to show you how to set up these videos properly. So if you notice, I have this icon that's associated with VLC Media Player. So if you don't have this little icon with that, simply do this. Right click, and you see a menu like this here. You go to Properties. Once you go into Properties, you would have in the General tab, you may have a different player that's playing the videos that's over here. So if I want to change it, let's say I'm from Films and TV or Windows Media Player, I could go and select from the list here, VLC Media Player. I go OK, and OK again, and I now have this here associated with this video. Same thing with the second video here. I just have to do it once with a different type of video. Once I have all this here done, as I double click this here, it will play automatically. Alright, so as you can see, this is playing, and double clicking on this middle of the screen will minimize the video. But one thing that I do want to inform you is that if you want to play right away from full screen. So let me just show you how this is done. I'm going to reset all the functions here so I could actually start you from scratch. So if I go in here into let's say Windows Media Player, and it's right over here, and all the shortcuts, by the way, from for the version that's here is from 1 to 8, and then the games, and then TeamViewer and VLC Media Player. It's always on the desktop. Once I actually have this here done, I double click on this. It would actually give me a privacy and network access policy. I don't have to change any of that. I go to Tools, Preference. Once I go in here, I have a whole bunch of things I could actually go and fine tune, but I don't want to. I'm going to go to Videos here, And under the videos tab, I have a number of functions that I'd like you to select. Full screen, that means the videos would start right away, going to full screen right away. Always on top means it's going to stay on top so it doesn't disappear on you. The second thing I want you to do is go to subtitles and OSD, which is on-screen display. Now, it's a trouble if you actually constantly have the title of the video showing every time. So me personally, I like to disable this function, show media title on video start. All I need to do is these two little changes and save. So next time when I go and play the videos, let's say again from the C drive cars folder, all right, I could actually have myself access the videos without having to think about whether it's going to be full screen or minimize in size. Now, I also suggest you actually do this. Right click on the cars folder as you go into the C drive folder, go to send to, and once you go to send to, you go to the left or right of this here and create shortcut. So if you notice here, there's now a shortcut available on your desktop. So I don't have to always click on this here to get to that same folder. I could actually just do it from here and have access to the exact same information as before. Okay, and this is one thing that's going to be helpful if you ever want to access the folder containing all the files that you see here. All right, so once I actually click on this here, I could actually go back to this folder and the videos. If I click on this this time, let's say I'm going to use Never Trust a Green Light. If I double click this, this will go into full screen mode. If you want to lower the volume or go higher in volume, you could actually go and scroll up and down on your mouse. So if you go scroll down, the volume will actually go lower. If you scroll up, it's going to go higher. All right, but don't go too loud. You're going to scare the class if you do that. So once I'm done, I close this. So let's show you how it's done from inside the Cars program. So I'm going to close this right now. I'm just going to use it based on what I have here. Now for organization, I usually have myself put it in groups of with the PowerPoints, so I could have easier access to it, so I know it's 1 to 8 in sequence. And in this games folder or file, sorry, is a new addition to the v3.5 program. And TeamViewer I would also leave here. VLC Media Player, I don't really have to worry about that because it's already set up. So if I leave that, that's fine. So let's say I go to day 2. And as I go into day 2, it'll ask for permission. Yes, I would have the password. I only need to enter that once and that's it. Now let's say, hey, I don't have the password, what I do. So email me would be, of course, the easiest way, but you already have the password. So let's say I already have Cars 3.3 version previously. So I'm going to take a look. Actually, I don't have 3.3 over here. But if you open it up, it's the same password that you're going to use from 3.3 to 3.5. Then you go to open. Once you open, you will then have this load. It could take up to a minute, like I said before. And once you have done all this here, you will now officially have yourself running Cars 3.5 day 2. And you can always verify by this here. Now, some new additions here is that the clicking icon has changed. All right, and as I continue, I could actually have myself zoom in the guide if I ever want to show the guide, but it's in the Cars folder if you ever want to access that externally. And I do have the little guy here called Samus that's now introduced. Do you know these signs? So these signs that's showing up here, do you know them? I is for information. So all the answers are here in information or instructors information is how I sort of look at this. All right, so if students know these, great. If they don't, then you tell them. So here's some examples of signs you may have seen from previous session. Like I said, this is new, reminding you that there's things to click. So if I actually wanted to click on, let's say, stop here on red, all right, what does it mean? Well, it must stop here on red light. Oh, I don't know what K means. Well, I go in here and click on the sign, K, dangerous goods route. And that's how you get access to all the answers in this program. All right, so I'm going to skip a few of these, all right, and I want to go and just show you some of the other things that's in here that could be important. So let's go to day 3, and course, have access to that by clicking yes. Go to open. And I'm going to show you how the videos are now shown. And okay, so again, 3.5. And I'm going to skip a few of these. I'm going to scroll down really quick. And I'm going to go through this really quick at this time. Okay, so let's say I want to show up this video that's here. If I want to go and show this video, I simply left click on the triangle here. It'll ask me for permission from Microsoft Office. Would you like to open this file? Go OK. Once I click OK, it now asks for the video file in the cars folder in C drive. Alright, and I can scroll up and down as I need to, and if I move my mouse around, this bar will show up. So if I want to minimize this, double click, and if I want to close it, just go down here. If I want to just minimize that, I can do that. If I want to go back to the original size, I can do that, but I'm going to close it in this case. So some additions you'll actually see is things like this here. That's now with a target here, but I want to zoom in. So Control 1, I want to see this zoomed in. I can do that. Control 2, draw. I can draw anywhere I like. All right, and once I'm done, Control 1 to clear, and Control 3, of course, is for the timer. Control 1 is to clear. Control 4 is one option that I have not talked about yet, which is a live zoom. That means the videos, sorry, not the video, the PowerPoint will continue running, but I'm able to zoom in and see the live zoom. That's the live zoom function. Once I'm done, Control 4 to go back to normal mode. All right, so the difference between Control 1 is that it's a still picture that you see. You can actually freeze it for as long as you want. Control 4 allows you to zoom in, but you see everything in the background still moving. All right, and when you want to go back, Control 4. So that's more or less what is new. Please go and explore as to what is here. We're really pleased to put this installment in for this edition. So I do hope that everybody has a pretty good idea as to how this program has improved over the years, and every edition we're going to make this even better. Okay, I hope all of you have enjoyed this video. Hope you have fun.